Hey, welcome back to another video, and this time we're doing Vesteria's Spider Queen guide. Why? Because there's a ton of new players, and I want to help them, and I've been playing Spider Queen recently, and let's just say a lot of people die in weird places because they don't know what to do. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so before you even start the dungeon, let me say you have to be level 20. If you're not level 20, you can't even do the dungeon. The game won't allow you to even go in. So, before you even go in the dungeon, make sure you have like 30 mana potions just ready. I promise you're gonna spam your skill a lot. This dungeon requires a ton of just skill spamming because you gotta do a ton of damage and you have a timer, so you want to rush through the stage as fast as you can. And second, make sure you have a bunch of heals. Those heals, it's mainly for the Spider Queen fight since it's the longest fight in the whole dungeon, and if the Spider Queen's gonna do a ton of damage, so you wanna keep at least like 20 to 30 healing potions. But of course, if it's your first time doing this, I suggest starting your own party as the party leader, and then invite one cleric, 2 mages, and 1 hunter to your party. Why? The cleric for obviously for reviving people. Why 2 mages? Because there's a ton of plays. I mean a ton. Where you just need to spam your area of attack skills, and mages are extremely good at that since one of their main attack, like DPS skills, is the mana bomb. So yeah, at least have 2 of those. 1 hunter for the hunter gear, which is in the second room. So in the second room, you will have to grab these gears to repair a bridge to get to the next stage, and in order to repair the bridge, you need to get these gears. And there's 3 gears. We're gonna talk about those later, but just saying, getting a hunter is gonna be really useful for this one, or else you will have to like try to hardcore parkour over to that gear. Just saying, okay? And then have at least 2 level 35 plus players. Why? It's gonna make your run way easier. Like, you're not gonna struggle just killing normal bosses, like mini bosses and stuff. And then actually when time comes to kill the queen, you can actually do damage. And remember, there is a timer in the dungeon, and if you don't finish it in that time, yeah, bad things is gonna start to happen. So have at least 2 level 35 plus players. They're gonna help a lot, I promise. So yeah, let's get into the dungeon. So, for the first room, if you're a starter, level 20 to around level 25, I suggest going to the right side of the room, which is the top lane. There's less spiders there, and it's really easy to kill spiders. I suggest going there, and there's also a free chest there, so if you want to try your luck and get like a spider weapon or spider eggs from that chest, go ahead. And yeah, that's basically it for the first room. All you have to do is just kill all the spiders and you can move on to the next one. Okay, for the second room, this room is the bridge fixing room. And we talked about this. You might want a hunter. Why? Well, there's 3 places you need to get the gears. One, well actually there's 4 now thinking about it. So the first one, you just drop down from the bridge, and then there's instantly the cog. The second one, from looking at the clip, you just go behind the bridge. There's like a tiny hole you can drop through, and then you will have to fight some spiderlings. So for the spiderling gear, the best tip I can give you is if you're low level, just go in, grab the cog, and run out. Do not try to attack them because they will swarm and kill you. And I'm pretty sure at level 20, they do like 400 damage a hit. So yeah, you don't want to hit them at all. Just grab the gear, run like hell, spam jump a lot, and you should be fine. And also use your mobility skill. For mage, it's the blink, warrior it's row, and then hunter it's that dagger dash move. I don't know what it's called. It's something. Okay, for the second gear, which is at the top, right there, with where the arrow is. So for the second one, you can either do the parkour from the hole, like what I did on the mage save right here in this clip, or this is the spicy part. You could ask your hunter to go into this tiny room, ask him to double jump up, and then grab the cog instant. Yeah, that's the thing, I know, right? It's almost like having a hunter that can double jump, and it's all about mobility and dodging stuff. It's super useful in this dungeon. Huh. Oh wow. But anyways, that's the gear. The last gear, I suggest you not going for it at all. And this is me talking to you, assuming you're a new player, because going into that room, the giant spider, it actually does a ton of damage to even like max level players. So if you just take that and multiply it by 10 and then ask it to attack you once, yeah, you can basically guess how it's like. So yeah, just make sure you don't go into that room. For the third room, it's just another repeat of the first room, except this time with a mini boss, but you should not worry about a mini boss at all. Why? Because you're not gonna go attack it. You just go attack the normal spiders, because they give way more XP than the boss. Only attack the boss if you're like the highest level player in there, and since you know you're the highest level player, you should be babysitting the other players by doing the most damage to the bosses and stuff. So yeah, if you're a low level player, a beginner, a newbie, like level 20-ish, just go farm those spiders. If you can, try to parkour on those spider eggs that's webbed in the middle. They could just let you range attack the rest of the spiders. So yeah, this is the third room, not much about it. It's just to clear the room. For the fourth room, as a newbie, you should instantly jump on the first giant spider egg and don't do the parkour. Why? Assuming you have a high level player who's EXP hungry, and if you don't have any of this, just ignore this part. If you do have a high level player, they will usually run into the spider death pit, gather them up, and then AoE attack and kill all the spiderlings, which is good for you, so you can take your time doing the parkour. And remember, take it nice and slow. Don't rush it unless you're like super good at it. Another tip for doing the parkour, stick to the left side. The right side, it's like a complete bait. Just stick to the left side of the parkour. Never go to the right side. If you go to the right side, you're most likely gonna fall or run out of options to jump around with. So yeah, there's the fourth room. For the fifth room, I really don't have any tips on this. The only tip I really have is to get on top of the spider egg pile, where it's harder for the spiderlings to reach you. Okay, so if you're being chased by a huge horde of spiderlings, never fight back. Why? Because they're gonna instantly one-shot you no matter what. So what you're supposed to do in this one, if you're a low-level player and you're not on top of the egg and you're getting chased, just run around all the spider egg piles, and hoping that the higher level players or the other players will attack the spider egg pile and then destroy the pile, which will kill all the spiderlings around the pile. For the sixth room, it's basically room 1 except filled with spiderlings and a giant mini boss spider. For a newbie, I suggest not going down at all until the higher levels clear this room. If you have to go down, try to stand on one of the walls and try to just range attack the spiderlings. Don't try to melee them. Or you can just rely on your cleric, which most of the time cleric would just jump down into the pit, use their ability called Flare, which basically kills all the spiderlings in the room, and then everyone else can just focus on the giant boss. If you can't do that, return back to room 5 strategy, run them around, gather as many of them up as possible, and then just AoE attack them all. So yeah, that's basically room 6. For the 7th room, it's another parkour one, except this time you don't have to kill anything, you just parkour, get to the end, go inside the black room if you don't want to be attacked by the mini boss that's camping like the tiny platform around it, since the mini boss is like coded to not go into that room, so you won't be able to be attacked by it as long as you're standing in the black bar places. But how to get there? First, you can look at this clip with my mage where I just did the normal parkour jump you're supposed to do. Make sure to take care of the spiders before you jump on there, or else they will push you down. It's like 100% chance they will. If they didn't somehow, well, count yourself lucky. And assuming you failed somewhere along the line, which happens a lot, even to like older players, because you know everyone have those bad days. From where you started, you should be able to see a hallway at the end where you can climb up and then go instantly to the exit. But of course, if you're lost in the giant death pit filled with spiderlings and mini bosses, you can always just run around the edge of the pit and then try to search for the exit. But here's the clip of me just searching for the exit. But do remember, there is a giant mini boss inside that tunnel, and to avoid it, either use your mobility skills to go through it, or just spam jump and hope you can like squeeze through the walls. But after being chased by it for some point, it will get stuck at the end of a hallway where it can't climb up anymore. So yeah. And for the last route, it's a hunter only route. Of course, there are more advanced ones like the mage bouncing from the web and then blinking there, but I'm not going to cover that because, you know, it's an advanced move, it's not a newbie guide. But anyways, here's the hunter route. For room 8, the last room before Spider Queen. This room is basically Minecraft Ender Dragon fight, except you don't have beds or anything. You just have to destroy the pillars that's healing the spider prints. Destroy those, and then the spider prints basically turn into a normal mini boss you're supposed to kill. And that's it. It doesn't have any special moves or anything, just don't get bit. It does quite a bit of damage. And yeah, you just kill the spider prints and that's it. But you could trap those spider prints behind. If you go behind a pillar and then spider prints like follow you exactly, you should be able to trap those spider prints by it just walking at you, but there's a pillar in front of it and it can't get to you. You can do that. But yeah, other than that, it's just a basic hit it until it dies. The last room, or the boss room as you might call it. These are the boss patterns, or well, not patterns, it doesn't have a pattern, it's RNG decided, but there is a pattern for the first one. The boss doesn't activate until you damage it, or the boss doesn't activate until like 15 seconds after, or you damage it. So you could basically camp there, but let's be honest here, most players will just rush in and try to do as much damage as possible. So the boss have 3 attack moves, you could say. First one is just a jab. It basically just uses its front 2 legs and just jabs at you. This one, there's not much you can do about it. You either have to dodge it beforehand, like hit it, and then run before it activates, and then try to get it to miss. Or you just hide under the boss, which will give you a chance of dodging it completely, or get hit by its leg. Did I forget to mention, while the Spider Queen's activated and it's moving around, if you touch its legs, it does like 400 damage to you. Yeah, that's a thing. But its second move, Acid Spit. It's exactly what it sounds like. It spits acid at you, and let's just say it does a ton of damage. A high level player can be melted in like 5 seconds if they stand in it for too long. It really depends on how many pools they're standing in, but the only way to avoid it is you either staying under the queen and keep attacking her there, which usually works. The queen will like kind of move its head backwards, shake a little bit, and then start spitting acid. So if it's targeting you, just run to one direction, just left or right. Never like diagonally like run left up or left down or something. Exactly like straight to the left. Why? Because Spider Queen kind of shoots in a forward, like in a line acid kind of thing. So if you just run in a straight line towards left or right side, it can't catch you with it. And for its last move, summoning spiderling swarms. Let's just say it's not a fun one. This is why you bring mages, because their mana bombs can basically take care of the entire swarm except the mini bosses it spawns in, but the mini bosses you can easily avoid by just running around. There's usually that one player that will be chased by all the spiderling bosses. I don't know why, but it always happens. So if you're that one player, just try to run to a pillar. Yes, you can climb those pillars if you're a hunter. You can also climb some of the pillars if you're a mage or a warrior. It really depends on like how steep the pillar is. But yeah, you can climb some of those pillars and just like try to kill the spiders from there if you have any range attacks. But yeah, that's basically it. There's not much tips I can give you for fighting the Spider Queen, because it's literally just based on your skill and like fighting it over and over again. So yeah, that's basically it for the video. Thank you all for watching and see ya!